Take me home tonight.
Stop it! You're gonna get us flagged.
I'm sorry. I do
I'm
sound so good.
surprised nobody's singing any Ricky Kasich here, man.
We could.
Good day, Internet.
Good day, Internet.
Good day, Internet.
Good morning, Julia.
Ah, the streak remains unbroken, Len.
Yes. Ruins
And
it.
the chain
Nothing if not
be
consistent.
unbroken.
Now, we have a lot to talk about today on Good Day Internet. We have an email to get to. We have to finally decide what our top Patreon tier is going to be named. But first, this just in, Sarah has a new beverage.
Yeah.
I do. And I don't know. All right. Let me just introduce you all to Liquid Death.
Ooh,
What?
That's
wow.
right.
So any sugar drink ever.
Yeah,
Wait a minute,
right.
is that an energy?
Except there's a twist, Lamar.
Okay.
Is that
Is described as mountain water to murder your thirst. And you know what it is?
Just sparkling water?
100% water.
Is it?
Oh.
Is it
What?
sparkling?
Not even sparkling.
Ooh.
It's just water.
Oh, the death is for the thirst. I see.
liquid
Or,
death?
or, you know, like
Oh.
you hear like at frat houses when people drink too much water and die, liquid death.
You mean when they
I
drown?
wanted real death, man.
That's
What
what
are
we
they
call
charging
drowning,
for?
Sarah.
What are they charging for that fancy beer
Well,
like can?
I mean, and the thing is like it's actually very. I mean, the packaging is lovely. It's water.
How
It's
much
just.
do they charge you?
Well, they didn't charge me anything because someone I know works there.
Ah, I see.
Oh,
I
So
see
this
what
is
it
a,
says.
it's good to disclose. It's a
Yeah,
review.
yes.
It's a review unit. Will you be sending it back when you're done?
I won't. No, I'll be drinking the water. I gotta
Send it
say,
back.
as water goes, tastes good. Tastes like water.
Sure. Yeah. So it's not like you taste it like, ooh, weird aftertaste or anything. It's
No.
Water.
clean, crisp
It's
water.
not designed to be like water that has like grapefruit infused or anything. No,
Mhm.
it's
and
straight
it's in a can. So and
water in a can.
so
called
people who are
What?
like, no plastic bottles. Yeah, there you
I
go.
wanted the
Stop.
taste of death, though. What is
Uh-huh.
that? You know?
Maybe
It's
they should
murdering
call
the
it
thirst.
liquid birth.
you're murdering your thirst by drinking.
Oh,
it.
I know. I think it's false
So it's
advertising,
kind of
though.
violent, but also.
What if your
hydrating.
thirst really
Does it
dies?
stab your throat as it's in there? Just,
You could, I guess. Depends on how you drink it.
It slits your throat. of thirst.
But, I had
The
forgotten-
delicious taste of clear water.
I had
You
forgotten that
slitting
someone
your
I know
throat.
is associated with liquid death, and they had asked
That's
a few
straight.
weeks ago, like, "Oh, I'll send you some," and I was like, "Okay, I mean, sure." And then
you
I forgot.
know-
That's not. I had this big package. Like, well, what's in here? Oh yeah, it's the water.
Six
And
pack of liquid death.
I had 12 bag actually.
You should be out on the corner selling that.
But I mean, you just gotta laugh. You just gotta laugh
Got
because
your
it's
liquid
like,
death here.
well, it looks like a tall boy, right?
yeah. It
So,
does.
and I think that's the idea is that like you're supposed to kind of fit in with the millennials.
Wait,
Mm, I
millennials
see.
use that?
Water.
That's pretty
So-
violent for millennial imagery, don't you
So
think?
is that like your vegan drink at like a party where you can't
Right.
have wheat something or
Mhm.
I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
vegans can have wheat. I guess.
It's
Yeah, that was silly.
it's the drink that is literally nothing but water at any party.
Until like 3 people have done it and everyone realizes, well, that's just liquid death. They don't have an actual drink.
Yeah, it's just
Is
liquid
it,
death.
now, what will you be like stumbling out of the party trying to act like you're, like wasted off liquid death? Because I need to see that.
But I mean, do people pretend to be wasted when they're not wasted?
Yes.
Yes.
Or like
right.
college.
All the
College.
time. I did it all the time.
I used to
Oh. I
pretend.
either was or I wasn't. I don't think I pretended.
Do y'all remember IBC root beer? It's still
Yes,
around.
I still
But it comes in.
drink it.
It comes in an actual like amber
Bottle.
bottle that looks a little like a beer can.
Never seen
And so people would sometimes use that to pretend like they were drinking, take the label off. I was actually drinking an IBC root beer, standing in my dorm room doorway one night, chatting with people, and the resident advisor walks by and looks at me. He's like, "Just take that inside." And I'm like,
okay.
"Oh," I'm like, "No, it's really a root beer." And he's just like, "I don't want to hear it."
Nice
Maybe.
try, Tom.
Wait a minute, Tom. Let me ask you: did you have a history with that person before?
No,
No?
no, not at all.
You should have just.
It just looked like beer.
Said,
Well, and
look,
I
yeah.
actually thought like that was actually kind of cool of him not to bust me or try to bust me. I mean, he couldn't have. It would have
Yeah.
been, but yeah,
Because you probably weren't the only person out there with some sort of a drink.
it
Well,
probably
I
has
just-
happened before. Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess
absolutely.
if you're trying to fit in, peer pressure, whatever, you don't want to drink, maybe you'd be like, yeah, I'm just, I'm drinking my beer kind of thing. Looks like beer.
Sarah.
But to be like pretend stumbling.
But Sarah, if you
That's taking it pretty far.
If you really want to fit in though, if you truly want to fit in at a party, you take that like bottle that Tom had with no label and just say, "Hey, calm down, relax. It's a Zima."
Dude,
and then everybody will leave you alone.
Yeah, absolutely. You won't have any trouble from then on.
Yeah. You imagine just tipsy.
I think we've talked about Zima before. I didn't hate Zima.
No, it was just
man.
It was just basically.
I do remember you talking about that.
Gross.
It's been reborn. It's been reborn as White Claw.
What do they call that style of beverage? It's not something
malt liquor.
Is it malt? No, I thought it was like a
drink
wine cooler, like the same category wine coolers are in.
Spritzer.
Yeah, like a spritzer. Of
like Mike's Hard Lemonade is another one.
Yeah,
I love Mike's
Lemonade for a man.
I love Mike's Hard.
I'm drinking lemonade.
But it's hard lemonade. Where you have to kneel and drink. What was that thing a few years ago?
Oh, the ice something.
Yeah, Bros Icing Bros.
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah.
I mean, just to show you that, the older you get, the more people just invent fun, stupid things to do.
Well, let's invent a fun, stupid thing right now, because we have new Patreon tiers coming on Tuesday, October 1st. I'm just going to throw out some of the suggestions for the new $100 a month tier. $100 a month gets you all the benefits of all the other tiers, plus a backstage pass. So some exclusive Discord chats with the team, maybe joining in on post-show shenanigans, etc., that sort of stuff. Okay.
Nice.
That level, we need a name for it. And if you're unaware, the other names are production assistant, associate producer, co-executive producer, analyst, advisor, and master. So this is above master. JD Galloway suggests vice president of finance.
Timmy.
What about
Mike
I feel like master is above that though already.
I'm gonna read the user suggestions, Roger, and then we can throw in our own. We've got Chad Johnson suggests legend. Matt Cottom suggests big kahuna. And that it seems to be all the suggestions. So
Big kahuna.
Big Kahuna, Vice President of Finance, and Legend. I know we got some.
Nick with this. He said Supreme Leader.
We've got some more in the chat room. I know we had some somewhere else, and I apologize if you submitted it through Slack or email or something, and I lost it.
How about assistant to the manager?
What assistant to the assistant producer?
CPO.
Soccer mom.
A CPO. Chief Patreon.
Three CPO
or CPG.
I mean, to go above master, it's like we got to get creative.
Grandmaster, because I play chess. Sorry.
Grandmaster.
Grandmaster.
That's actually a good one.
I think I win. Now, what did my voice keep sounding like a teenager right there? Sorry.
I win. You are only 11 years old.
That is true. Well, at least with
That's
Tom
right.
was college and then his doctorate, I was 11.
Grandmaster's pretty good because it leaves us open for future titles.
Grandmaster.
Like what? What would be after a Grandmaster?
Well,
Grandmaster
the
Flash.
Wizard. Hard enough time with this one. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
The wizard. Why would you say wizard?
No.
Don't do that.
You're a wizard, Harry.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I kind of like the idea of just naming it with a person's name, like Connor or Chad.
The Chad level.
You're now Lamar.
Yes.
Congratulations.
We could name it after the first person to back it. The first person.
You get naming rights. Yes, naming rights.
Your DTNS Bruce. Thank you.
Bruce level.
I like the Grandmaster ring.
How about Mufasa?
Yeah.
Authority to it.
I think we do that. We have until Tuesday to decide. So if anyone has thoughts on that, feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com. But also,
like
if anyone wants to send us beverages to test.
Oh yeah.
Preferably in
actual beverages.
You got water in a
can or a
can?
bottle.
I'll drink
nothing that you would make in your kitchen. I mean, do you want that? Unless you want that, Tom.
No. I think package.
People sending you stuff.
Retail
that's not
Prepackaged, FDA approved.
I mean, I can get you Oreos anytime.
Oreo.
I'm not really eating them. I'm not really eating them right now because I can't. But like, you know.
Oh, we don't want to steal your bit though.
What that? Oh, the Oreo thing. That's dead. It's dead.
I'll take Oreos any day.
Excellent, because I have a mystery package sitting here that they sent me, and I don't know what to do with it. Because right in this moment, I do that teenager thing again. Right this moment, I'm not able to partake. So
you're on a strict no Oreo diet.
That's literally all I'm doing. I'm not doing no other changes to my life. Just no Oreos.
Yeah,
just no Oreos. Pure Oreos. You know, Oreos are the one. You know, people say, oh, you know, dunking cookies in milk. I'm like, who needs it? But when it comes to Oreos, dunking Oreos in milk is clutch. It really does make everything better. But I don't drink milk. So I wonder if dunking Oreos in pea milk would be...
almond milk. Almond milk.
What's pea milk, just so I can be clear?
It's made of
peas.
The vegetable pea variety.
I'm a teenager,
it's a non-dairy milk. I know. Every time anyone hears pea milk, they're like, "Wait a second, what are you talking about?"
Honestly, I've heard of rice milk. I've heard of almond. I've had both.
Yeah, it's same idea.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure an Oreo would be right dipped in the Ripple milk.
It's not horrible with almond milk, but it has to be the vanilla one, which adds sugar. So
yeah, you kind of just need like real milk for an Oreo dip.
Yeah, I would agree.
I like putting Ripple wine in my Ripple milk.
Or do you use Fred Sanford? Okay.
Alcoholic milk.
All right, sorry if anybody doesn't get that Fred Sanford right.
Isn't that what Kahlua?
You want to drink?
I'm gonna join you, honey.
Well, I mean, isn't that what you do? Like you pour some Kahlua and then you mix it with milk.
Oh, that's
or whiskey. Yeah, anything.
No, I mean like it was an actual Kahlua milk.
Well, I'm also mean that it's an actual thing. Yeah. It's a good way. Did you know that milk is actually more hydrating than water?
Okay, I read that article, and that is a spin by the milk industry. I'm sorry, I read that crap.
You think Big Dairy is behind that?
That study was completely funded by them. There's no evidence.
We need to follow the money.
It's by Big Udder.
Big Udder.
Big cow.
Big udder.
Utterly ridiculous. It made sense to me that the fats and oils in certain drinks could slow down the absorption of water so that you absorb more of it before it passes through. Makes sense.
But fruit does the same thing. Like I've been reading about eating your water though. More like versus drinking it, like it's more hydrating. Like people drink a gallon a day, it's not really doing anything.
Roger and I were just talking about like eating a bunch of grapes. You actually drink a lot of water at the same time.
The problem is a lot of fruit today is grown and kind of cultivated to have a high amount of sugar in it. That kind of offsets the hydrating aspect of it.
No, it doesn't.
That's natural sugar. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. All of our food is horrible. We're all going to die. And let's start the show. We're all going to die.
Our big joke at home here is that we were at a commercial shoot, my family and I once, and the people sitting in the audience, like waiting, like the extras that we were with, one guy kept saying that, everything is water, man. Everything is water.
Opposite. More sugar actually helps with hydration.
Orange soda, that's just water.
That makes sense.
Orange soda's just water, man.
I mean, there's some water in there.
You and I, we're 70% water, man.
We are all water.
Just drink yourself, dude. All the salt,
beer's water.
All you sweat is water.
This brick is water. Well, not so much the brick.
And some
salt. A lot of things.
Yeah, there's probably some water in this brick.
Wait, how much of a human is water?
A lot.
60%.
60%. We're more water than we're not.
Up to 60%.
If you get like a juicing asphyxiation, like I used to be, they're crazy about juicing anything, and I was like,
different parts of the body contain like different organs. Juice. Like your lungs are 83% water. It's 100% if you drown.
No,
it's more
still
like
got a percentage that's your lungs.
94.
They just don't work anymore.
The skin contains 64%.
How
muscles and
water are you if
79.
you drown? Good metric.
You don't completely liquefy when you drown.
I mean, you're only probably a slightly more water if you drown.
Right. It just, went to the wrong pipe.
All you need, think about that.
Now that's liquid death.
We've brought the show.
That is actually Liquid Death.
That's
It
true.
is now time to start.
Like, cool marketing idea, but you know what Liquid Death really is drowning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's get back to this in a half hour, shall we?
Half hour.
Real quick, am I speaking after Sarah in the introduction? Because I see my name third. I interrupted Lynn last time.
Oh,
You
yeah.
go third. You go third.
You are
Okay.
speaking after Sarah.
Okay, so make sure.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2. Coming up on Daily Tech News Show, it's checkmate for iOS jailbreaking. The end of Google Play Music is nigh, and we get to the bottom of streaming fatigue. This is the Daily Tech News for Friday, September 27th, 2019. In Los Angeles, I'm Tom Merritt.
And from Studio Feline, I'm Sarah Lane.
Also in Los Angeles, I'm Lamar Wilson.
Drawing the top tech stories all the way from Cleveland, Ohio, I'm Len Peralta.
And I'm the show's producer, Roger Chang.
We were just talking quite a bit about water absorption, as well as naming our new Patreon tier on Good Day Internet. Speaking of Patreon tiers, the way to get Good Day Internet, if you want to spend a little more time hanging out with us, is to go to patreon.com/DTNS. Let's start with a few tech things you should know.
Logitech agreed to acquire Streamlabs in a deal worth $89 million in cash. Streamlabs makes Streamlabs OBS, a popular streaming front end on Twitch and other streaming platforms, which the company claims is used by 15 million streamers. This complements Logitech's webcam business and its 2018 acquisition of Blue Microphones, both of which are also popular with streamers.
HP announced Chromebook X360 12B and X360 14B convertible laptops. The 12-inch 12B supports the Universal Stylus Initiative, the first open standard stylus protocol. Try saying that 3 times fast. The 12B will start at $359, and the 14-inch 14B is $370 more, both available later this month. HP's rechargeable USI pen arrives in November at $69.99.
Hey, everybody, settle down. The Galaxy Fold is finally on sale in the United States, starting at $2,000. It's just 5 months later than originally planned, after those test reviews brought Samsung back to the drawing board. Also, the Galaxy Watch Active 2 released today, in case you're keeping track.
Got another data breach for a Friday. DoorDash announced that a data breach on May 4th exposed data on 4.9 million customers, delivery workers, and also merchants. Customers who joined DoorDash after April 5th, 2018 weren't affected by the breach. Names, email, and delivery addresses, order histories, phone numbers, and hashed and solved passwords were stolen, as well as the last 4 digits of a customer credit card and merchant bank account numbers. So, it's a significant breach. Driver's license information on 100,000 delivery drivers also exposed. A spokesperson for DoorDash blamed the breach on an unnamed third-party service provider.
Which apparently they stopped using after April 5th, 2018, is my guess.
Guess who's part of it? Yay.
Me too, man. Yeah. All right, let's talk a little more about a test Facebook is doing, Lamar.
Yeah, Facebook is testing hiding reaction and video view counts on Facebook posts in Australia. Now, the creator of a post will still see the number of likes and other reactions, but it'll be hidden from other users. Everyone will still be able to see who interacted with the post and can also see comment counts and at the most common reactions they can see. A similar test on Instagram has been running since April, expanding to 6 countries in July. Now, can I just real quickly, just as a content creator, I need help with this one because I don't see the point of this. I'm not sure who they're protecting, what feelings they're protecting here. I need help with it because I don't get it.
That's because everyone likes your stuff, but that we're all not that lucky
or handsome. Yes.
Yeah. No, the idea is that people see other people's like counts and get miserable. Like, I don't have as many likes as them, and then start just posting in order to try to get likes. And what Facebook is saying is like, no, we want people to have substantive posts. We don't want it to be a competition. So if you aren't easily able to see how many people are liking someone else's post, then you won't be as likely to feel bad and post crappy stuff.
You also will be potentially more likely to post more because it doesn't matter as much the fact that you're not getting as many likes as the next guy. But I think that's actually what Facebook is thinking of here. It's they would like to, they'd like to spur more engagement because people aren't feeling bad about themselves. It's not so much about who feels bad about themselves. It's that they want people to be engaged.
But when they were feeling bad about themselves, they were posting more to try to keep up with that other person. So wasn't that good?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether this will make them post more or not. But it is a test to see if it actually creates a healthier, more substantive posts. And it's a test. We'll see. Yeah.
A new iOS exploit called Checkmate, that's mate spelled M8, could lead to a permanent unblockable jailbreak on hundreds of millions of iPhones, according to researcher AxiOMX. The exploit is the boot ROM vulnerability, allowing hackers to access deep enough that Apple would be unable to block or even patch out with a future software update. This is the first boot ROM level exploit publicly released for an iOS device since the iPhone 4, so it's been a while. It works on the iPhone 4S, 2 iPhone 8, and iPhone 10, so A5 through A11 chips. For now, though, this is known as a tethered exploit, so it's only triggered over USB. But possibilities include Apple no longer having control through software updates or revoked signatures to get rid of this, downgradable iOS devices that could easily be rolled back to previous versions of the software, dual booting between multiple versions of iOS, and others.
Now, just like with the alternative app store yesterday, not everybody's going to do this. We don't even have a jailbreak yet. It's a matter of time before somebody figures out how to make a nice jailbreak out of this, but that's not what AxiomX did. He just found the vulnerability and put it out there. This is one that I think Apple would want to fix. I was arguing that Apple might not bother with the with the alternative app store because it's not a security vulnerability. This is a vulnerability. Now, it's a vulnerability that you have to have physical access to the phone to get. It only applies to older chips. And it's going to be harder to fix because it's in the boot ROM, which means you'd have to have physical access to the phone to update it as well. But it is the kind of thing that Apple is more concerned with usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, Apple is more concerned. What does Apple do for something like this?
I mean, they would have to push out.
Right?
They would have to push out a software update that would update the firmware in the bootloader, again, which would require people to tether their phones. And a lot of people, I haven't plugged in my phone for a software update in years.
No.
Because it's over the air. So maybe there's a way to do an over the air firmware update of the bootloader. I'm not going to say that's impossible, but that's not usually the way it's done because of security concerns.
Yeah.
So
no
yeah,
comments from me. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think we're just we're looking at a potential jailbreak of older phones, and the fact that we have it only through the A11. It's not going to affect the XS. It's not going to affect the iPhone 11. Means that Apple may not bother with it, which would give white hat hackers a great chance to play around with this. Though Apple's security research program is going to give like custom jailbroken phones to security researchers anyway. So there's not as much demand on the white hat side of things for this anymore either.
Yeah, I'll just say real quick, I didn't have a comment, but they say 90% plus update their phones to the latest software. So the percentage, the work required versus the percentage that might get affected, plus having to be tethered, I agree with you. It probably just won't be worth it for them.
Yeah, I mean,
what they do.
How about desktop robotic arms?
How about it?
Who wants one?
I do.
This is one of my trends to watch. Desktop robotic arms are starting to look like drones did in their early days. And we're getting some products out there on the market from multiple companies, marketing them to do things like calligraphy, hold a hairdryer, butter your toast. I mean, we're still waiting on the killer app here, trust me. But 33-year-old Shandong University graduate Liu Peichao's Shenzhen Yuejiang Technology wants to develop smart robotic arms for everyday life. Yuejiang started as a Kickstarter in 2015 and sells the Dobot Magician for 10,000 yuan. That's about $1,400 US, and 16,999 yuan for a more advanced model. That's about $2,400 US. Marketing it as an educational device for students to code on and learn to develop. But Yuejiang wants to market these for just home use eventually. So this is their way into the market. And students from the University of Tokyo, working with Connected Robotics, adapted a Yuejiang arm to be a breakfast-making machine currently being used in a Japanese hotel as a test. Tech in Asia notes that there's another Shenzhen-based factory selling its desktop robotic arm in more than 80 countries right now as well. So I challenge you to think about, okay, if you had a desktop robotic arm that was easy to use, what would you want it to do?
You know, when I first
yeah.
was like, right, calligraphy doesn't come up in my house all that often. But I'll tell you, holding a hairdryer is actually very annoying.
The more you think about it.
Yeah, I'm like, it's actually heavy and it's hard on the wrist and the whole thing. There are use cases for this. I mean, I've the mic that I'm using is sort of a desk clamp type thing. It's like there are a lot of scenarios where I'm like, okay, this could be something that's sort of part of my little, my daily routine, buttering my toast. Yeah, the kitchen stuff actually.
Holding vegetables for cutting, maybe actually cutting them. If you had
absolutely,
two
yeah,
Your hair dryer 100% for me. 100%.
Yeah,
all the time, every day.
I will add, if you have a little workshop where you do things like soldering or you fix things, having an extra pair of hands, even if they're clawed, super helpful. Because one of the things, especially if you solder stuff, one of the things you need to do is manipulate the item that you're soldering. And it might be easy for you just to hold the iron and hold the solder while the robot turns the item, or the robot holds the solder and you turn it and it moves with it. I mean, I could think of like, if you could get rid of the claw and you just attach my monitor onto it, then it can move the monitor anytime I need it for a different position. And
that's the thing about these, especially the one from Yuejang, is that they are available with swappable ends. You can put different ends on them to make them do different things. So it could do all this stuff that we're talking about.
I really want one to because I don't have friends. So like when I play video games, I need to have someone sit next to me and play with me. With a controller that can hold. I'm serious. Like no.
You
one
want more than just a computer controlled opponent. You want someone. You want an ARM sitting.
I want an ARM there with the ARM processor in it. So I want all the tech.
ARM with ARM. I like it. Okay. Send us your thoughts, folks, because I think this really feels like quadcopters did. Several years ago. I remember seeing the first quadcopter shown at CES and thinking, okay, that's cool, but what's it good for? Well, guess what? We figured out what it's good for.
Delivering groceries.
Just delivering burritos and sticking a camera on it. So let us know what you think the desktop robotic arm might be good for. Feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com.
I am now hungry. You mentioned burritos. Google announced that all of its authorized Android 9 and 10 devices will have YouTube Music pre-installed in place of Google Play Music. Google requires certain apps to be installed in order to get access to Google first-party services. Google Play Music will remain available for download in the Google Play Store. Google said in 2018 that it plans to transition users from Play Music to YouTube Music once feature parity was reached as early as the end of 2019. And may I be the first to tell you that feature parity is nowhere near close.
Yeah, it's not there yet.
Which is why I stopped using YouTube Music. I really wanted to love it. I had nothing against it. I'm already paying for it because I have YouTube Premium, and it just I'm an iOS user, but I found Google Play Music to be really good. Like it really knew me, really understand what music I like, and it's just the YouTube one is just not ready yet. And a weird thing is when I listen to music, it comes up in my YouTube watch history because it's a video, and so there's a lot of things they need to fix with it. And I looked at the Reddit forum about this, and I'm not the only one that is not happy about that. It's just not ready.
Well, although you said you looked at a Reddit forum, so people being not happy isn't terribly surprising. But
very true.
Yeah, I think above the normal Reddit background rage index, people are unhappy. Yeah, I as a Google Play Music user have been a little nervous about this, and hopeful that YouTube Music would eventually just be Google Play Music. Just change the branding and give me everything. That's great. I'd love that. They added the ability to play your local files in May, which is a nice step forward. But I really want that online locker that Google Play Music has available in YouTube Music. And there's no sign of that coming anytime soon. But most people don't use Google Play Music. And this is a big step forward for Google to say, no, we are confident in YouTube Music being our music brand going forward. So we are changing the default install with millions of handsets across the world to give you YouTube Music instead of Google Play Music from the get-go. So if you're worried about them backing off of YouTube Music, this is a sign that they're absolutely not going to do that anytime soon.
Yeah, it's just interesting, like you said, Lamar, that it's not just the same service, but renamed. YouTube Music makes more sense naming wise.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, if it was sort of like, get to feature parody and then no one will even know the difference. You're like, no, you didn't though.
It just doesn't feel like the same company is working on this. I'm like, you all are probably sitting in the desk are right next to each other, but you won't talk to each other. It's infuriating that Google is like this. It literally is like two different companies are working on it.
Go to lunch together. Come on.
That's it.
If only any other large company had the same problems that Google does.
No, it's only Google. You're right.
Yeah, it's just Google.
Yep.
Hey, speaking of music, the latest beta of Spotify's iOS app tells users to tell Siri to play songs, lets users tell Siri to play songs, albums, and playlists from Spotify itself. The feature doesn't work on the Apple Watch because Spotify doesn't have a Watch OS app yet, but The Verge said it had trouble playing podcasts too with the iOS app, seeming to search for music instead of podcasts.
Yeah,
well, Siri has lots of problems with lots of things.
This is a beta app of Spotify. So, let's not rush to judgment. And it's not out. Spotify isn't promoting it. So maybe they'll fix the podcast thing by the time they launch it. Verge thinks it'll come out in a couple of weeks. We'll see. But it is a big step for Apple to say, yes, we are going to allow another music service to be launched from Siri. I mean, that's too long in coming, in my opinion, but I'm glad it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Spotify's got the lion's share of users. I mean, Apple Music isn't far behind, but this is something, Apple saying, listen, it's better for us to allow people to get used to using Siri for something like Spotify rather than keep them from it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, folks, if you want to get all the tech headlines each day in about 5 minutes, there is one place to go, dailytechheadlines.com. All right. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that sources say Apple plans to release feature-length films in theaters prior to making them available on Apple TV+. That's not a shock. Theatrical runs would probably last just a couple of weeks, making them eligible for the Oscars. And Apple hopes the approach will attract top directors and producers to projects if they know that their movie can be nominated. Sources say Apple's first major theatrical release would be Sofia Coppola's On the Rocks sometime in mid-2020. Apple also in talks to have documentary The Elephant Queen in theaters. That is part of the November 1st TV Plus launch, but it doesn't matter whether it goes online first or not. What matters is, can you get it in theaters? And landmark theaters have been pretty amenable to this. A lot of independent theaters are amenable to showing these movies. So they just need to meet the qualifications of the award granters, whether it's SAG or America's Choice, People's Choice Award, or the Oscars, whatever. I don't think this is shocking. I would have expected them to do this. If you follow what Netflix and Amazon and everyone have done, they all want their movies to show in theaters, even if it's a limited run, to qualify for awards. So to me, I'm not looking at this and thinking, wow, Apple's showing movies in theaters, although it does seem a little weird. It does put us back into the mind, however, that Apple TV Plus is going to be a serious other streaming service. And I'm already seeing the reactions of people who are like, oh, that's right, another one. I don't want to pay for this. I don't care if you get it free with a new Apple device. I don't want to buy a new Apple device. Streaming fatigue is the bigger story to me because, man, everyone has an opinion on it. Billy Steele over at Engadget has a story out today, a very well-reasoned post about why this is all so frustrating. He calculates for himself to get the stuff that he wanted. If money were no object, he would need at least $133 to get all the stuff he wants to watch. And, with people going like, man, I used to pay $9 for Netflix and I felt like I got everything I wanted. That is a lot more money. Mm-hmm. However, in 2018, the average U.S. cable TV bill was $107. It's probably not going to go down, or if it does go down, not much from that. So if you look a little closer at some of the things that Billy Steele included in his $133, you have to ask yourself, well, if I have a cable bill of $107, I would still have to pay for some of these. Netflix isn't part of your cable bill. There's $12 probably right there. Special sports services like Fox Soccer Match is one that he mentions, probably not part of most people's cable bill. So that's an extra cost. All of those sports related services like MLB at Bat or NFL or the NFL Sunday Ticket, those are all extra above that average $107 for most people. Even movie services like HBO are above your normal cable bill. So then $133 starts to feel like, well, I guess I'm not saving money, but I'm probably going to be spending about the same. Now, despite what people say, it may not be the cost that's really the frustrating thing. We had a great debate about this in our Discord's master channel for people who support the Patreon at the master channel. And CB and I, we were having a disagreement, but I think he finally hit on the real problem. CB wrote, I honestly think it's the effort that goes into signing up and managing a new thing. If all of these services work together and acted as add-ons for each other, I don't think people would be talking about subscription fatigue. If it was quick and easy to manage, I think people wouldn't have a problem with adding CBS or Disney Plus or Hulu or Netflix or vice versa. It's the idea of having to manage 4 to 5 apps and remembering what to watch and where that is that turns people off. Lamar, what do you think of that?
I feel like if to solve this, if we just had one company that would take all of these channels and put them together across this one net service and charge us one price, that would completely solve this problem. No, seriously though, I agree with his sentiment. That is, we haven't even started subscription fatigue yet until Disney Plus comes out and what is it, HBO Max, Infinity
and Peacock,
War,
yeah.
Like once next year happens, oh my God, I think that's gonna be the tipping point. Yes, I can afford it, but again, money is not the issue. It's where can I watch this again? Is that DC? Is it on DC Universe? Is it on HBO Max? Is that a Disney Plus? Is it Disney Channel? Or do I need to go to the Disney app? And it's infuriating to have to think of all that. And some people are just gonna throw up their hands and say, forget it. I'm gonna pick my one thing I like and just one network and just watch that. Or just go back to cable.
Well, I mean, Apple is one of several companies who want you to manage your subscriptions through a single place. tvOS is a great example of that.
Right.
Do people do that? Well, I don't know. I mean, yes, with mixed results, some people do. I think what's also interesting about this is, okay, so there's going to be some original movies coming out, big stars, big names, big directors, production houses that are highly respected that are going to be associated with Apple TV Plus. The theatrical run, sure, they're going to make some money, but that's not really the point. The point is to have, to be considered for future awards. That whole thing, and trust me, I am an award show fan. I watch them all, even if I don't care about who's winning or whatever. I love award shows, but that is such a relic of a bygone era at this point. I wonder how long this is going to be part of a model that the modern companies have to agree to in order to to be considered on
worthy,
the level playing field with the old guard.
Now, I really agree with that. Before Tom added this other element, I was literally going to comment that I don't like award shows myself, but I'm not against them. At the same time, they have their place, but the idea that they have to run something in is antiquated. We're supposed to be digital and new and on your phone and instant. Then you have this theatrical run, and it's just like it just feels like it's just going against it. I'm not really for that. Apple seems to. I mean, they have Steven Spielberg, they have Oprah, they have all these top people. It seems like they should be able to hold on their own.
Yeah, but no, the way they got those top people was those top people knowing that, well, I'll be able to get an Emmy or an Oscar for this. Now, the Emmys is easy. The Emmys, you don't need to go, take your thing and put it somewhere. But the Oscars particularly want to differentiate TV movies from theater movies. And on Netflix, if it just shows on Netflix, how do you do that? How do you say which is a Oscar level movie versus a Emmy level made for TV movie? And the only way to do that is to have it show up in theaters right now. I think you're right, Sarah, and Lamar both, that eventually that will go away. But Spielberg himself was campaigning to change the requirements to make it stricter, to make them do 90 days in a theater to get an Oscar nomination.
Oh, I remember.
So I don't think we're anywhere close to that system changing anytime soon. That 20 years from now, somebody will go, why do we make them go in theaters? We should just have some other criteria, but I don't even know what that is.
Going back to the idea of the cable bill being, let's call it $110, right? $110 a month. It's like, yes, a few years ago, the whole promise was, oh, we can just, pay $10 a month for just a few things because those are bloated subscriptions that people don't actually want. You pay for a bunch of channels that you don't watch. Okay, well, now we're getting to the point where, and it depends on what you care about and what your stack is going to be, but you might get up to that point or farther, depending on what you want to watch. But is that okay with a lot of people? Because it is actually a group of channels that you have picked and choose, and you care that you want to pay for that.
Yeah.
So I wonder how people will feel about like, what is the threshold at that point?
No, and this is where I tie into NCB's argument. My argument for a long time has been, yes, but you have control. You don't have to pay. With cable, you had to pay your cable bill to get the things you wanted. There wasn't a lot of choice. Yeah, there might have been a couple of tiers, but basically you had to pay for a lot of stuff you didn't want. Now we're shaping up where you don't. If you don't care about what's on Disney Plus, you don't have to buy it. It's not going to be bundled in if you don't want it. Same for Netflix, same for Amazon, same for CBS, same for Tubi, same for all, and on and on and on. You don't have to have all of them. You can control it. There's another Engadget article today kind of helping people walk through the idea of, sign up for Netflix for a month to watch the thing you want, then cancel it, sign up for a different thing so that you're watching multiple channels, but you're not paying for them when you're not using them. But to go back to NCB's argument, I think it really is, we need a service that's not you pay one price, but you have to get everything, but will let you manage everything from one place, because psychologically we don't like multiple categories that we have to think about. Like, wait, where is it? Who am I paying? What am I doing? And it used to be, I can't get that streaming. I have to get cable to watch it. Those days are gone. Now, pretty much everything that you can get on cable is available streaming. And then there are things only available streaming, right? The tide has turned the other direction.
Yeah.
So now we're in the position where Amazon, Apple, Roku, even Vudu are starting to create these platforms of, we want to be the place that takes all your subscriptions and makes them easy to manage for you. And we're just seeing the earliest beginnings of those. None of them have all the services. None of them have all the features you want for your bill management. But that's going to be the next big wave in cord cutting, is the people trying to be the platform that says, we will help you make sense of all this, know where your shows are and which ones you need to pay for, and cancel the subscriptions that you don't.
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like Hulu was trying to bring everything together, and now they're part of Disney for the most part. So that's not going to be a thing. I think Amazon Channels is probably closest to what you're talking about, Tom.
Yeah,
I think even closer than Apple TV, in my opinion.
Yeah, Apple TV channels too. Roku's doing a similar thing too. So there's a lot of people trying it.
Yep.
Hey, thanks everybody who participates in our subreddit. A lot of TV stories and others there. You can submit your stories and vote on others to help them get on the show. dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. We're also on Facebook. Join our group, facebook.com/group/dailytechnewsshow.
What's in the mailbag, Sarah?
Oh, Tom, I'm glad you asked. Chris Christensen, our amateur traveler, he writes in and gives us lots of regular updates on traveling. But he also wrote in, based on a conversation we had the other day with Roger, and prescription glasses, and that they're expensive, and there's a whole thing going involved. Chris says sometimes someone needs to introduce Roger to ZennyOptical.com, or one of the other web-based companies. You can even do a virtual try-on. I'm maybe 4 pairs of glasses into this, and it's a great solution. That's Zenny, ZENNI optical.com.
Are you going to take
I
the Zenny Optical
I will
challenge?
look at it. So this is the one thing I neglected to mention now that I think about it. I'm actually limited to the type of glasses frames I can select, because I have such a extreme prescription that what I need would not fit for every pair of eyeglasses frames, which is why my frames tend to be a little up there, tend to be in the $200 to $300 range, and then my lens is at, let's just say it averages around $500 to $600 for a pair of glasses.
The question remains, Roger.
Yes, I will.
Are you going to take the Zenny Optical challenge?
I will take a look at it and see if it. Part of it is I don't know if all those frames will
just
fit.
say yes.
You just say yes and try it out. Doesn't mean you have to buy the frame.
No,
Right.
I understand.
Just try. Try.
I will try it, and I will have to dig up my prescription
and report back to see. Yeah, if they're like, nope, didn't work, then we'll know. Let's check in with Len Peralta, who's been illustrating the show. Len, what do you got for us today?
Well, you talked a lot about streaming services, and I wanted to kind of draw something that felt like how I feel about everything here. Yeah. It's, this is called Stop the Streaming, Please. And I am really not looking forward to November because I've got to make some serious decisions. I still subscribe to cable, yet I also still get Hulu and Netflix. I am planning on getting Disney Plus, but it's like overwhelming. It's so overwhelming. And I think this image sort of exemplifies that and how I feel about it. So I don't know how about you guys feel, but it's
you scored another home run, man.
It's so good. It's so good. Yeah,
this is how about water. Feel. This is liquid death. Right here.
It is liquid death. Exactly. Wow. Bringing it all back. Lamar with the high five there. Nice job.
Yeah. The solution is some kind of like Culligan water dispenser. That's the platforms. But right now, this is how everybody feels. This is really encapsulated the mood of the world right now, I think.
Exactly. And I think I should rename this to Liquid Death. That's a great thing. So available right now, patreon.com/Len, and also my online store, lenperaltastore.com.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Len. Also, thanks to Lamar Wilson for being with us 2 Fridays in a row. Good streak.
I have nothing to do with my life. No, I love being here. I do. I love being here.
Well, we love having you too. Let folks know where they can keep up with the rest of your work.
Yeah, you. My main hub is YouTube. I just posted a video a couple hours ago about what's on my iPhone 11 Pro Max Infinity War, whatever it's called. I forgot. But whatever. People are actually interested. I give some app suggestions on what I have on my phone and what's running. Do some app arcade stuff. So yeah, you want to check that out? That's youtube.com/Lamar Wilson. I'm Lamar Wilson everywhere across the socials.
Hey, folks, if you didn't know, we're changing our Patreon rewards October 1st. Brand new spanking rewards coming October 1st. If you want to get a sneak peek about what will be arriving on that day, head to dailytechnewsshow.com/Patreon.
We love your feedback. Have I mentioned we love your feedback? Oh, if I didn't, we do love your feedback. Feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com is where to send those emails. If you can join us live, we are live Monday through Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. That's 2030 UTC. And you can find out more at dailytechnewsshow.com/live.
See y'all Monday.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you enjoy this.
Wow.
Yeah, I fat fingered that. Sorry.
They really hit it out the park, man. They love that drawing. Hey, so I do have a complaint about my new iPhone Max Pro.
All right.
Well, so I keep as you can see, I keep a pop socket on mine. With the last one, there was no issue. Like I can put it on. Wait, let me just take it off so I can show you this little Anchor. These little wireless pads, right? Like it actually just sit on and charge just fine. This one, I don't know if they made the signal weaker, but it absolutely cannot do it anymore. I've tested 3 different pads, and it won't charge anymore through the pop socket.
Oh, really?
I don't know if the phone is thicker.
That's interesting. And if you take the pop socket off, it works fine?
Yeah, absolutely, because I did try that too. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know if they made the signal weaker or whatever, but now I got to look at some other, because I'm not getting rid of the pop socket.
It might be the change in material on the back, maybe the Gorilla Glass. Is it glass on the back? Is that right?
This is a glass composite or something.
Yeah.
So, I may just I'm not getting rid of the pop socket, so I just may need to get some other charging solutions, which is a shame.
Mm-hmm.
I love my pop socket though.
I found I could just plug I get these little cords and then I just plug them right in. I don't have to worry about where to position it on my wireless.
Really? I need to look into that.
Yeah, it's a new thing.
Antiquated thing. I do that in my car. I don't know why I'm being so weird about it.
No, I've actually, this is the only, like right in front of me, my iPad is the only thing I have anymore that really I charge plugged in for the most part. I've got wireless chargers all over the place. I've become one of those people.
Yep.
They're not really expensive.
No, they're really cheap.
Relatively speaking. So, yeah.
All right.
But otherwise, what are you, how are you feeling?
Oh, you mean just in life? I mean,
the iPhone 11.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm about to go on, but yeah.
No, how's your
therapy session right here?
So
yeah. How's life, Lamar?
Life, it's rough. I don't know what's going on. You know, my diet is weird. No, the phone, I haven't felt it faster or slower. It really does feel like the same phone. I'm not just trying to be cynical. It just the camera's awesome. I really like the camera, but I'm not sure where the Pro is, and maybe I need to do some more intensive. Like here's my thing: if they came out with this and said, "Hey, we're going to throw Final Cut Pro 10 in here," whoa, that's Pro. We have the memory, we have the capacity to do that. Heck, if they did it on a Pro iPad, I would have been happy, just because that feels Pro. But yeah, I'm not seeing where the Pro is yet. Just being honest, not a negativity.
It's more just another Max than a Pro, is what you're saying.
Yeah. That's
because they maxed out the specs, but
specs are great. I never will complain.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not doing AR. I'm not doing some other intensive things. If I was, maybe I could see the difference. But you know, it's what I do for a living, so I'm not upset that I upgraded. You know, it's already paid for, whatever. But yeah, I'm not really seeing the Pro.
So the Pro name is a con for you.
Yes, it is. So yes, it is.
I was going to mention this during the show, and then I didn't do it. Suppose.tv, I think, will help a lot of people cut through a lot of the confusion about streaming services, especially related to live TV. If you're like, man, how do I replace my sports channels, my news channels, or I just like watching NBC at night while it's on live, I want to replace cable that way. Suppose.tv lets you go through and pick the channels you want. Like, I need shows from these channels, and then tells you, okay, these are the services available in your area that have all, some, or most of your channels, and then the prices for the different packages, so that you can look at the prices and compare, like, oh, okay, this is what it would be like to replace my cable, because these are the channels I want. And that's a little bit of an antidote to that streaming challenge, because this isn't going to handle Disney Plus and all of that stuff now. But if you just want to replace the cable TV part, not the streaming services part, Suppose.tv does a really, really good job of it.
Well, there is a huge opportunity here for somebody to come in to get like everybody to come together under one roof. And all I have to say to that is good luck. Good luck getting everybody to come.
I hope it's Comcast that does it. Somebody.
Do you?
Yeah. Or Spectrum.
Spectrum. Oh my gosh.
You know who'd be really great? AT&T.
AT&T would be a really good company to do this. Yeah. Just I feel like they have the assets to bring it all together. So one solid package.
You know what would be a great solid package?
Title for the show, perhaps.
Mayhaps.
DTNS.showbot.tv. We will now reveal who picked the title for today's show by figuring out what the title should be. We have Screaming About Streaming. Robotics at an Arm's Length. Stop Streaming at Me.
I like that one.
Everyone likes your stuff, Lamar.
Don't try to use me for SEO, okay? You relax.
Just a nice, It's just a nice thing. Somebody's just saying something nice to you through our titles.
Okay.
Why is the title Lamar Has No Friends? Now, come on now.
Oh.
He said that.
He said
that.
Accurate.
Arm with arm was suggested.
I mean, Lamar, I'm with you. I'm like, I have friends. I mostly don't see them.
Man. Yeah, I got no friends, man.
I having a little robot arm might work out nicely for me. A dog, a cat, robot arm. Who needs friends?
There's streaming overflow.
I'll let y'all finish this.
I like Screaming About Streaming.
Done.
There you go.
Mojam submitted that title today. And then we need a title for Good Day Internet, the show we are currently within. So it's a bit of an inception.
Liquid Death has to be that.
I mean, yeah.
Come on.
Wait, when did we say we're married? Let's eat. I like that one. It was when Lamar asked us about the wedding, I think, or Glenn.
Oh,
yeah.
We were saying, let's eat.
You said...
Yeah. Right, because they had gone so quickly.
But that was before Good Day Internet, I think.
You mean in the Discord?
We only thought that. That wasn't actually said.
Yeah.
No, we said it.
Good Day
we
Internet
said
must
it.
have been
it might have just been a little early.
There's also Big Utter versus Liquid Death.
Liquid Death. Let me introduce you to Liquid Death.
Let me introduce you to Liquid Death.
That's
I
next
actually like
level.
Liquid
Yeah.
Death Review Unit, too.
All right, Lamar, you're the tiebreaker.
Taking one for
Liquid
the
Death
team.
Review Unit, or let me introduce you to Liquid Death.
Liquid Death Review Unit.
All right, Zoe.
Filling
Thank
that
you. As always.
Zoe
I mean,
brings bacon with Good Day Internet.
I'll tell you
Zoe-
guys, I've been drinking my Liquid Death throughout
Okay,
the show,
Mr.
and
Sponsor now. Okay, come on.
No, I mean,
I'm
seriously. I
And
mean,
it's only sponsored.
listen, there's
Take a sponsor, so look,
I'm
I
drinking
can't.
water in a can.
I think that was,
I
you know,
don't really think I'm a spokesperson. for
Lamar,
the-
that was a good throwback to the stream and Liquid Death. Very, very creative. I like that.
Thank you. I used to watch a lot of Married with Children, so my sarcasm level.
It's perfect.
It's finely honed.
Yeah, maybe to.
I love when stuff like that happens, where it's just like something is pulled out of something earlier and brought back. So very cool.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Len likes a good callback.
I love good callbacks.
I was gonna ask. Oh, Sarah. Yeah, I was gonna tell you. I was reading. I think late last night, the LA shelters are so overrun with kittens that they're offering like free, adoptions right now.
Yeah.
Is that something they normally do around this season? Because it seemed like there was like an explosion of births or something.
It's kitten season. It happens every summer.
Okay.
A lot of feral cats have a bunch of kittens, and people do their best to round them up. And so, yeah, you get a an insurgence of little adorable feline creatures that need homes, and then it kind of dies down for the rest of the year. Happens every year.
Considering it, but then I was like, if I get pets, what if I need to travel and I end up don't get anything? It's silly because in LA they have all these kind of places you can
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, I had 2 cats until earlier this year. Now I just have 1, but having cats that need to be taken care of, having a dog that needs to be taken care of are 2 very different
Oh yeah,
things.
dogs are complete babies. Yeah.
Oh, it's child light. It's having a child that's not quite as hard as
having
a child
for like 15 years or something. Yeah. I would never, Otis, cover your ears. I would never say like, oh, that, if I had thought about this a little bit more, I wouldn't have done it. I still would, but it has been an interesting learning curve. Cats, way easier. Yeah, I used to have
breaking news here. Apple officially announced their theatrical release dates for 3 films. The Elephant Queen will open in select cities October 18th. So before the launch of Apple TV Plus on November 1st. Right. Hala, which is a movie they acquired at Sundance, will open November 22nd with a streaming date of December. And The Banker, directed by George Nolfi, opening December 6th before debuting on Apple TV Plus in January.
Okay.
Now, so this is no longer Wall Street Journal reporting sources. This is Apple has officially announced.
So this is the movies, not series like the one with their blind.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Correct.
So the question is, are any of those films, do you feel like you want to go to the theater to watch those?
Not one.
Yep. That's what I thought too.
I mean, but
I don't know. The elephant one looks cute.
Yeah.
The elephant? Is that
if they
like John Merrick?
But is that because they're on streaming services or because you're just like, yeah, no, I wouldn't see
That's just me. It's not the streaming service thing. It's not my flow.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm looking forward to on Apple TV is I don't know, I forgot the name of it, where they're all blind. Yeah, see, that's very intriguing to me. Like that has not been done before. So I definitely want to see that. Get it? See? Okay, I'll stop.
Right. You gonna see it?
Yes, I will see.
I wonder if they'll do a version with descriptive text. They should.
Yeah. Wow, that's a good idea.
And they should anyway, but come on, you have to for that.
Right.
Now, see, I'd be more interested in like the next Spider-Man film, like.
Oh gosh, we should talk about that. Spider-Man has been saved.
No, you didn't want to talk about it as a tech thing, so no.
Not a tech story, but on Cord Killers, I said This is a negotiating tactic by Disney. Everybody's mad at Sony, but it's a negotiating tactic by Disney to make sure that Sony will agree. Oh, and guess what? They agreed to the initial offer that Disney gave them of 25%. Feige producing. Oh, I'm so shocked.
Sure.
Right. Yeah, we knew. I mean, yeah, we knew it was going to eventually happen. It was to fracture that. It just would be devastating. And it's just bad PR. Even if Sony could do a good job with the movies, it's just bad PR.
Yeah.
So the next 3 movies, Tom Holland and the MCU, that's all the synergy will happen. I'm sure they will work on a Venom verse. I actually hope they do. I didn't think Venom was a bad movie at all. I hope they incorporate Spider-Man.
Well, Kevin Feige did say that, this moving forward, who knows how the MCU will affect Sony movies, Sony Spider-Man films, and back and forth there.
Yeah.
So you might see Tom Holland in the Sony universe.
I thought.
Well, yeah, it was owned by them, so that makes sense. Yeah.
I want to find that exact quote because I felt like that was very carefully said by Mr. Feige.
Yes, it was. But I think the what he was trying to say is that, like, hey, Sony still can develop. Let me see. I want to see that too because I read that. Oh, I'm thrilled that Spidey's journey in the MCU will continue, and all of us at Marvel Studios are excited that we got to keep working on it. Spider-Man is a powerful icon and hero whose story crosses all ages and blah, blah, blah. He also happens to be the only hero with a superpower to cross cinematic universes. So as Sony continues to develop their own Spideyverse, you'll never know what surprises the future might hold.
That makes me think that part of this agreement, maybe what Sony was holding out for, was the right to have some characters from the MCU show up in Spider-Verse.
It's Sony, yes.
And maybe even characters
which already happened.
Haven't, well, yeah, but characters that aren't being used in the MCU, right? Kind of like Deadpool.
That's a good point.
Or maybe an alternate version of Bruce Banner, shows up in a Spider-Verse.
And that'll have to be an NBC approval, but yes.
I'm sorry, did I say Bruce?
Yeah.
I am old. David Banner. No, wait, David?
No. I'll just say NBC still owns, Universal, they still own the Hulk as far as movie rights. Yeah, as far as
they own the movie, right? But
movie right. Yeah.
Do they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the Hulk with Norton was put out without Universal. That was Paramount.
Or Columbia?
Am I right? Am I right? I know. Am I right to say Universal? Yeah, it is Universal. They own.
Universal owns the distribution rights for Hulk. Oh, thank you, Beatmaster. That's what you're saying.
You know that Sony's going to continue into the Spider-Verse too, right?
Okay, so anyway, so the Hulk was a bad example.
No, I didn't mean to correct you.
I'm just no. I was just thinking like that's because that's a good point. They wouldn't use the Hulk probably because that's too complicated. But they could have gotten Marvel to say, all right, you can have an alternate Hawkeye show up in a Spider-Verse. Can't be the same Hawkeye. Maybe even could be a different actor. Who knows? But I'm just they could do that.
I mean, look at what CW is doing with well, I haven't watched the shows, but like that whole different Earths thing that where they're going to have all the Superman
Infinite Earths.
The infinite, I like and different realities. I think that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
See, and I like the idea of multiverse. Yeah, have different actors.
Well,
I think Spider-Man into the into the
Spider-Verse. Yeah,
amazing. Like I want to see more of that. Do it.
It's one of those things that's an incredibly useful plot device for a lot of reasons, but at some time it kind of makes things super complicated if you rely on it too much. Although the fact with the Crisis on the CW Infinite Earths, they're going to bring back Tom Welling from Smallville and then Brandon Ruth
Erica Durance.
I'm all for it.
It might be cool.
Now,
Hopefully.
I'm hoping you don't have to have watched all the CW this season because I have not. I just want to watch that.
Well, the new season starts in 2 weeks or next week. 2 weeks.
Yeah, Eileen and I fell behind. We're like a couple seasons behind on the CW Arrowverse stuff now.
I am all caught up.
We're just gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it anyway.
You don't have. This is the great thing. Those event shows that they do at the end of the year, you don't really need to have seen the other stuff unless you just want some background on why that person's there.
I've been thinking about getting back into the CW thing because I left because it was just. I mean, there always have been soap operas, right? I mean, they're nighttime soap operas, but I just feel like Arrow especially just got so soap opera-y. I just wanted to stab my TV.
It got convoluted because it just ended up being the same plot.
It's every season. It's like, oh my God, everybody knows he's Green Arrow. What? New season?
Oh no, they
don't know anymore.
The most recent one, he stopped becoming the Green Arrow and he worked for. Kind of. Now he worked with the police openly, so it was. Yeah, it was a very odd thing.
I don't know.
Well, it's gonna end, so you don't have to worry about it.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Stephen Amell's gonna move on and make more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies.
I might. Oh, that's actually good. I'll give Supergirl another try. I don't know about that third show where they're traveling in time. Is that still on?
That was the what is the Hero or
Legends of Tomorrow?
Yes. Is that still a thing, or is that canceled?
It's still a thing. It was kind of a weird because it originally was like, what do we do? Like they had a comic book version, but they were just trying to like, how do we make use of all these characters that were ancillary from all these other shows? And they cobbled together the show. It was kind of weird at first because it was just like, well, we do another superhero show. But then it got really wacky at the most recent season. And it makes it kind of more interesting because it became less about superheroing and more just about the hijinks of time travel.
Yeah, I felt season 1 was phenomenal. I felt season 2 was like, I felt like it should have ended at season 1. It was like a perfect, good story.
When
money.
When you have one of the Doctor's companions star as your lead character for your show, it's going to go a little off the rails.
That's not true. What are you trying to say? You're just trying to make a snide comment about Doctor Who.
Oh,
he was really good at that.
Rory.
He was really good at that.
Rory from Doctor Who?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about, yes.
I don't like Doctor Who either.
I want to watch Tom explode. Boil and explode.
Ever since David Tennant, I have no use for that show.
Watch Tom explode. Oh.
I didn't have any use for the show then, but I tolerated it because of him.
I like
David Tennant.
Yeah, when in the beginning it's a stupid show, right? I mean, I remember when I was a kid, but like it's a stupid low budget show. So like if you go into it with that mode, you're fine. But like I don't know, it got
they made it high budget when they rebooted it.
oh, did they?
Yeah. It had a lot higher budget than it was before.
It's very British, and so if you like that,
well, the thing is, the ones before the reboot were done in that way because it was. You were right; it was aimed at kids, but they wanted to make sure the plots didn't go over the heads of the audience of the children, so they really went to lengths to spell things out, like what was happening and why it was happening, because they were afraid that kids would get lost in the plot.
Is it still the lady that does it now? Is she still the doctor?
You mean? As
Jodie Whittaker, yeah, she's the current
cool.
Doctor.
Cool.
They've only had the one season of her so far.
Oh, okay. I didn't know where they were in the seasons.
Although I do like that. That wasn't the last episode. The Kablam Man. That was the.
Are you spoiling?
Last. No, that was just one of the episodes.
Oh, okay.
Kablam.
Now, if I see that,
but now Lamar knows there's a Kablam.
I know there's a Kablam Man. I know.
I'm spoiled. Totally.
Oh
spoiled.
no, there's people in it.
Wait, more spoilers.
Wait, there's a doctor? Is he an actual certified doctor? I don't like what? No.
And you don't spell it DR Who either. People get very upset.
Wait, is that true?
Yeah, it's DOCTOR.
It's the doctor.
Yep, just like Doctor Strange.
Really? So people have an issue with that. I'm gonna make sure I do that on Twitter then. I'm gonna do the exact opposite.
Just say a lot of things about DR Who, and then people get mad at you. You're like, no, I'm talking about my actual doctor.
My actual doctor, yeah.
It's pronounced Whoa.
Well, no, there was that one doctor with a last name, who was Chinese descent, but his last name was HU, so they just Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Okay, I wanted to make a similar joke, but I can't make that joke, so I'm glad you did.
No, I mean that was an actual guy. That was his name.
Well, and there was a optometrist in my neighborhood in San Francisco named Dr. C, S-E-E.
Wow.
Yeah. And what was funny is I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about it until one day Paul Block, the executive producer of the Screensavers, was in our neighborhood and looked over and was like, that's hilarious, Dr. C. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right.
and that man saved your eyes.
I never went to him, sadly. He probably would have. Yeah. It's right there. I mean, it's the best
Dr.
brand.
C, if you're listening, let us know how you're doing.
Yeah, hope you're doing good.
It's like having someone Dr. Tooth.
Absolutely.
Or Dr. Bite.
I'm trying to think of something as punny as. I can't think of anything. I guess in the medical field, there's only so many.
Well, yeah.
That would be possible. Yeah. Right.
Practitioner.
Dr. Tooth, Dr. C.
Dr. Foot, but PHOOT.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dr.
Yeah.
Lamar.
Dr. Stabby.
Spider-Verse.
Dr. Knife.
What? Sony and Marvel. Disney.
Dr. Malpractice. Yeah.
Good one.
Please change your name at that point. I mean,
Yeah.
you have 8 years of medical school to get that fixed. Come on.
Go by
Dr.
Malcolm. Malcolm practice at least.
Hal? No, it'd be like Hal practice.
Oh.
Dr. Hal practice.
Yeah, her first name was Mallory. Yeah, what's your name? Malpractice.
Malpractice. Malpractice.
That's like literally every Batman villain. Right? Like, isn't that like how they come up with the names? Edward Nigma, Enigma.
Yeah.
Yes.
Riddler.
Yeah. Edward Nigma.
That was always pretty
P.
clever to
Gwyn. Hi, you're P. Gwyn. Okay, so we haven't talked. Next week, of course, is the big release of Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And
my first movie in the movie draft.
I guess there's some sort of controversy. I missed all the controversy with this Joker film. Why are people fighting about it?
I missed the controversy with this Joker.
It's too violent.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, and the last Batman film, they had a dark Joker in it. One theater there was a shooting.
I think the problem was that the last Batman movie attracted that the one that attracted the shooting.
I just said that.
Oh,
listen. Yeah. Sorry. First of all, that's exactly what Lamar just said. True. Also, there's always an element online that wants to make trouble around movies. So that's an element of this because it's going to be a popular movie. It is definitely depicting mental illness.
Yeah.
And in particular, mental illness related to violence. And a lot of people are much more sensitive about that than they would be normally these days. There's a lot of people looking at this and wondering like, oh, is this sending a bad message? It's that old-fashioned issue of, is Harry Potter teaching kids to believe in wizards? Is Dungeons and Dragons?
I thought it was something about what the director said, saying something to the effect of like,
oh, I didn't hear about that.
We were able to get a real movie made under the guise selling it as a comic book film.
No, I didn't hear about that. I'm sure that there's so many things about this movie that are causing people to be angrier than they would normally be, that pretty much saying anything about it is going to cause someone to get angry and start posting controversial things and slamming people.
It's
a no-win conversation. No matter what opinion you have about the Joker, someone out there is going to hate you for it. That's where that movie is right now.
Yeah. I think they should just go back and do the Cesar Romero Joker, like a reboot of that.
But
was
Cesar Romero pass away?
It doesn't
100 years ago?
Bring him back.
Well, I guess could do it through...
I didn't like that Joker at all.
Did you know Cesar Romero refused to shave off his mustache?
And it made the character so much funnier because they painted over his mustache.
I never knew that until I saw a photograph, and I'm like, wow, they painted over his mustache.
I never knew that, actually.
At the height, from what I understand, from the height of the Adam West Batman series, it was kind of like a thing to be on. So a lot of celebrities wanted to have guest appearances because that's what you did, I guess, back in the day.
It's sort of like a reverse Henry Cavill,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I will be digitally removing my beard in future episodes of Daily Technician.
Thank God.
You're going to be digitally removing your beard at the showing of Joker next Friday.
At the showing of Joker.
Next Friday, I will be a white man.
Digitally.
So will I.
Digitally. Yeah. Not actually real.
I'll be half and half. I'll be
digitally.
Yeah, I'll be like Cafe Mocha or something like that.
All right. I feel like we're leaving people in a good place on a Friday.
I think so.
We are.
Yeah.
Here's to liquid death. Cheers.
Here's to liquid death, everyone.
Yes,
Everybody,
a
I won't see you
pleasant,
next
a pleasant
week 'cause-
death by liquid.
Remember,
Have a
wear a
good
life
day.
vest
Thirst will
when
be
you're on the
killed.
water.
I'm killing my thirst.
Digital.
Murder your thirst,
Digital.
Flynn. Murder it.
That too.
Take control. Take back the night.
Good day, internet.
Good day.
Good day, internet.